Hi, I'm Don with UniqueParts.com. I'm going to show you in this video how to go ahead and change the clutch pedal shaft and the pedal assembly on a classic Volkswagen. We're going to be changing over to this new style design that makes the clutch pedal action silky smooth. Also, we're going to be extending the clutch pedal over 3/4 of an inch, and that's going to give us more clearance between the brake pedal and the clutch pedal. First, we have to take off the barrel nut off the throttle cable on the back, and then remove the wing nut that's on the clutch cable, and then we can pull the assembly out of the car. So let me grab some hand tools, follow me, and we'll get started right now. I like to remove the spring off the brake pedal assembly so it makes it easier to be able to take it out of the car. So what I do is I use a block of wood, and I get the screwdriver underneath the spring, and I take the other screwdriver and lift up over the hook on that spring and then slide it off the brake pedal. That makes it easier to get that pedal assembly out. And installing the pedal assembly, I do the reverse order. I use this block and the screwdriver and lift it up and twist it up over that brake pedal pin. I removed the old clutch pedal, brake and clutch pedal stop plate, and as you can see here, I painted it silver so I could show you some of the details on this plate. You'll notice here that it's indented. This is where your brake stop has been touching that plate. So every time you press a brake and release it, that comes back and touches this tab. And it's worn this down considerably over the years. And what happens, some of these actually wear all the way through. And it's just a stamped out bracket, as you can see. It's a lightweight bracket. And we're going to be replacing that with a heavy-duty brake stop bracket. So it'll provide the stop for the brake and also for the clutch. And this is the one that goes for the extended pedal assembly. And you can see it's slotted too, and it's a pretty beefy bracket. It's a heavy-duty one. So it just fits into a saddle right here. So once I've removed the old one, and this is where it was located here, so I removed it here, and it fits into a saddle right here. So you want to take a scraper and clean out all the dust and the dirt that's accumulated over the years right here. So the new bracket is going to seat itself right in that saddle. And let me show you how it goes. It just fits right in here. As you can see, it locks itself in place. It can't twist or move. Now I'm providing also a new hardened bolt and lock washer, and it just fits right in here like so. And I've already marked the location of the one that was taken off. So that slot, you can move the bracket up, back and forth for fine tuning where you want your pedals to be. So once we have it located there, we just secure it. As you can see, that's a pretty beefy bracket. It's going to take a lot of years for that one to wear down, and it certainly is not going to wear through like this one here. So we're ready to go now and move on to the rest of the installation. As you'll notice, this is your brake line here, and the brake line can be moved over slightly, and we're going to discuss that a little bit further as we go on with the installation. I put the pedal assembly here on the bench, and I'm going to tear it apart now and remove the worn out clutch pedal shaft from this assembly. First what we have to do is remove this pin that's holding the clutch arm on. So use a punch and a hammer and drive the pin out, which I already have. Then you can twist this arm off of that shaft. Now the shaft's ready to come out of the pedal assembly. So just slide it on out, and you can see the worn out part right here. The cable loop fits over this, and every time you move the clutch back and forth, the metal is going to be rubbing against each other, and eventually it's going to wear this hook out, and it will break. So now we're going to replace that with the new design pedal shaft, clutch pedal shaft, and this is it here. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when the cable is hooked up to the shaft. This is just a stock cable here, and it slides right over this pin, and the nut and washer holds the cable on. But you can just see how smooth this moves. So your clutch is going to be silky smooth. Now, one thing which you have to do too, before we go back together, is, and I'll show you the differences here, I just have an extra pedal here. So this is the one that we took off right here. Now you see the difference between the two. This area right here needs to be filed down just like this one here. So take a file and just round that corner off. And that is for getting us clearance between the pedal assembly and the steel brake line. And I'll go into that more as we proceed with the installation. So I'm going to use this arm since I've already filed it down, and we'll start assembling this pedal assembly. So take your new shaft, and you want to use a good universal grease and lube the shaft up really well. And then put the grease inside the pedal assembly here. Now just slide it in once it's greased up. And now I have a barrel spacer that you put on, like so. Slides right on. And now we're ready to go back on with that arm. So just slide the arm back on. And then you want to put the pin in. And secure the pin, and now we're ready to go back in the car. The Bentley Official Service Manual has a schematic under brakes and wheels on page 30 of the pedal assembly, and also discusses how to remove and put it back in. So refer to this manual when you're doing this installation. Two clutch pedal arms we can look at. This is the one that was taken off, and this is the one that's going to be going back on. Now you'll see this area right here needs to be filed down here, and that's going to give us the clearance we need between this arm and the steel brake line. Now attach the cable to the pedal assembly here, tighten up the nut, and now you're ready to slide the whole pedal assembly back into position. I put the pedal assembly back into the car because I want to check the clearance between the clutch pedal stop tab here and the steel brake line here. Now take the clutch pedal arm and just move it back and forth, making sure that this tab does not touch the steel line. Now in this car, what I've done is I've stuck the screwdriver in between the tab and the steel brake line and just moved that brake line over so I have at least a 1/4 inch worth of clearance. And once that's done, we can continue on with the installation. It's a little tight inside the car to show you exactly what we're doing next, so I put another brake pedal assembly here on the front seat, and what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be installing the brake push rod to the brake pedal. Now, when we slide that onto the pin that's on the brake pedal, there's a horseshoe clip that goes on and holds that push rod onto that pin. So once the push rod is on the brake pedal, now we slide that horseshoe clip on to hold that in place. Using that block of wood we used to take off that brake return spring, put the screwdriver under the spring now, lift it up, and then slide it back over onto that pin. Hook up your throttle cable and put the wing nut in the back, and you're ready to start driving. I just finished putting that Bigfoot extension in, so now I'm ready to go out and do some cruising.